Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode for a brand new year of the Healthy Her podcast. Today, we're going to be talking all about healthy habits for lasting weight loss and healthy eating success, because I know that changing an old habit into a new habit is a really difficult process, and it is something that a lot of women struggle with. So today we're going to break it all down so that you can finally start creating new habits for your health and well-being and actually being able to stick to them for the long term. Now, to start this episode, I want to talk to you about weight loss and fitness challenges. Now, I'm sure that probably in December and now at the start of the year, you are being spammed with weight loss and healthy eating challenges. And I want to explain to you why they don't work. So challenges don't work because they don't allow enough time for us to create new healthy habits. That's the problem. I'm yet to meet a woman. With all of the women that I've worked with, I'm yet to meet a woman that said, yeah, Jen, I did a 6-week challenge and I completely overhauled my diet. I no longer do any of my unhealthy habits. Like I don't sit on the couch with a packet of Tim Tams. I don't do any of those things. I'm like fully healed. Everything's great. And I did it all in 6 weeks. I've lost the weight. It's not enough time. And this is unfortunately a conversation that women are not being told. And it's truly why they quit on their efforts before they actually get to their goal. This stuff takes time. And I'm really sorry to be the person to tell you that. I am. And I know that for myself, when I went through this process, I remember there was so many times where I sat back and I was like, wow, this takes forever. Like this is taking so long. Like why has no one told me that it takes longer than 6 weeks? If you think about it, you have these habits that you have created for yourself and you have had them for, we're not just talking days, we're talking weeks, we're talking months, we're talking years. So it's not going to change in a matter of 6 weeks, okay? And that's why these challenges and these short-term fixes don't work for the long term. Also, too, what they do is they say, hey, sign up for my challenge, do it for 6 weeks, do it perfectly, and that's what you do because in your mind you go, great, I only have to do this for 6 weeks, and then after that I'll just go back to my really bad habits. And you might get some results, but then what happens when it's finished? You've created no new healthy habits. You do not know how to continue with what you've actually done over those 6 weeks because you're missing your knowledge base and your understanding of what you're actually doing. And that's why these things fail. That's why they don't work. So we're really going to focus on long-term lasting habits and how you can make them stick for the long term, because being able to maintain a healthy habit is what makes it easy. Okay. It's like brushing your teeth feels easy for you because you've done it over and over again. That healthy habit of taking care of your dental care is now really easy because you just go to the bathroom in the morning and at night time and you brush your teeth. You don't get motivated. You don't think about it. You just pick up the toothbrush and do it. And that's what we want with our healthy habits. So getting to the gym, going for a walk, making a meal prep breakfast, we want those kind of habits to just be everyday staples that we do all the time because then they become easy. Because I know it's really like you sit back and as a woman, and I was in this position too, is that you see other women and you're like, why is she doing this? Like, how come she's losing weight and how come she can like get to the gym and she's got kids and she's doing these things? And it's like, it's those habits that get you there, okay? Because that's where that ease that you see in other women, that ease, that flow, how they just make going to the gym look easy, It's because they've done it over and over again that it's gotten to that point where it's easy. Like I said, it's always like brushing your teeth. It's just something that you do repeatedly over and over again, and it just becomes a habit. And when something becomes a habit, that's where you get the ease and flow that you are looking for. Okay. If you have to constantly think about it, constantly work yourself up to do the thing, it's not a habit yet. Okay. It's not something that you've cemented in your everyday life. It's something that you're still learning and you're still trying to add in, and it hasn't become like a daily staple for you. Now, this is really interesting because it takes, on average, anywhere from 18 to 254 days to build a new habit. There's no 6 weeks in there. There's no 6-week challenge in there. That's a significant amount of time. And the average time to create a new habit, average time we're talking here, is around 66 days. So if you've signed up for a challenge or a program and you're doing something and it's like 6 weeks and it just maybe worked for a bit and it didn't, it's not you. It's not that you couldn't do it. It's just that it didn't allow you enough time to create that long-lasting healthy habit. That was the missing piece. So please don't ever think that because it didn't work that you're a failure and that it means, you're doomed for the rest of your life and you can't do it, because it's just not the case. Okay, it's just that challenge that you signed up for is missing that education and it's missing that knowledge base that you truly need to create healthy habits and lasting success for the rest of your life. Now, there are 2 types of habits that we have. We have simple habits and we have complex habits. So simple habits are things like waking up in the morning and having a glass of water. By the way, if you're not doing that, you should be doing that anyway as a hydration thing when you start your day. Glass of water when you wake up is what we call a simple habit, okay? There's not as much involved in doing that habit. And then we have more complex habits, which are things like exercising daily, getting to the gym, that are going to take us longer to maintain and longer to actually embed into our everyday life. So I want to share with you a little bit about my own story, because I realized, and again, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And I know, and you can relate to this, I'm sure, but like when you're in the moment, it's very hard to take a step outside of what's going on in your life and how you're showing up for yourself and what you're doing and stuff, and actually look inward. But when you get to the other side of your journey, and healthy eating and weight loss and exercise just becomes something that you do every day, it feels easy. You don't have to be disciplined and motivated for it. But at the time, like I said, I couldn't see it, but I can now because, like I said, I'm on the other side. But habits for me started really small. Like I said, this is hindsight. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. The habits that I started were really small. So the first thing, because if you're new to the podcast, you can go back and listen to some of my earlier episodes about my healthy her story. But one of the massive things that I struggled with was sugar addiction. Like I was so addicted to sugar and I needed to have it all the time. And I just could not get in control of my sugar cravings. And one of the things that I realized that I was doing is I was adding quite a lot of sugar to like my coffees. I'd have it on my cereal, those kind of things. So for me, that was my first habit. So I would have like a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee or my hot chocolate or whatever I was drinking. And the start of my habit was I just had half a teaspoon. Like that was the start. So that would be a simple habit. That is something that I started. And of course, I got used to drinking these drinks with half a teaspoon of sugar. And your taste buds change. And that's something that people don't talk to you about. Your taste buds change as your diet changes. So you get used to those new flavors and those new tastes. So I slowly got used to having half a teaspoon of sugar. And then I'm like, well, you know what? This isn't so bad. It still tastes fine. I can still drink it. I'm going to have no sugar in it. And then I did that for a while. And then when I'd mastered that habit, I then went and picked up another habit and I moved on to say the same thing with my cereal. So just cutting back a little bit and then a little bit and then until I wasn't adding sugar into my cereal. The thing that you need to understand, and the thing that's really important, because you're probably listening to this and thinking, well, that's not going to help me lose 10 kilos or that's not going to get me to my end goal or that's not. It will. Because what you don't understand is that habits have a compounding effect. So you start with one habit and then you master it and then it gives that message to your brain that you can do this hard thing, this thing that you were like, oh my gosh, I could never drink a coffee with 2 sugars in it. How am I going to survive? It sends that message to your brain that you can actually do this hard thing. And so then your brain says, all right, well, okay, girlfriend, let's go and try something else. Let's go and add something else to our habits. And it has this compounding effect. So bit by bit, you master your habit, you get the reinforcement for your brain that you can do this hard thing. And so you want to tackle another habit. And you just keep slowly adding these new habits to your daily repertoire. And like I said, you think at the time, you're like, well, what's the point? This isn't doing anything. It does. Small things done repeatedly over time have a compounding effect. Okay. And again, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I can only sit back here now because I'm on the other side of this and say to you that it works. The small stuff that you do every single day and the small changes that you think are not doing anything for you have a compounding effect and they add up over time. So please don't ever dismiss if you're like, oh, Jen, I'm turning off my phone at 8 o'clock and I'm going to bed earlier so I can get up in the morning to go to the gym. Don't ever think that tiny little change in your habit is not having a compounding effect over time, because it absolutely is and will absolutely help you get to that end goal of healthy eating and wellness and weight loss just feeling easy and for it just to flow, and for you not to think all the time about, oh, what am I eating today? What am I not eating? Should I eat that? And all of that awful food noise that we have as women. Now, so we've talked about the different types of habits. We've talked about why challenges don't work. We've talked about how long it actually takes to create a new habit. So like I said, if you're beating yourself up because you haven't mastered 5 a.m. gym workouts yet, you just haven't allowed it enough time. That's it. Again, it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you're not capable. It's just you haven't allowed yourself enough time. And it's something, to be honest with you, that really frustrates me in this health and wellness space, is that I don't understand why we're still pushing this whole quick fix and do it in 6 weeks, and because it doesn't work. Like, it does not work. You know, the data is there. It is proven. It is not enough time to change your lifestyle. It is not enough time to create a healthy habit. So the key to lasting success is time. This stuff takes time. And the more time you allow yourself and the less strict timelines you place on yourself, the sooner you are going to get there. It's us that creates these crazy timelines. It's like, oh, well, I've got to lose 5 kilos by this date, or I need to lose 10 kilos by this date for my friend's wedding, or I need to do it for this by this time because I've got a holiday. Take away the timelines and take away all of these strict rules that you have set for yourself, and just allow yourself the time to create long-lasting, healthy habits that actually stick. Now, we want to start some new habits, okay? You're probably listening to this and going, okay, I've got some habits that aren't so great that I'd really like to work on. So here are, I think I've got 7 steps to start a new habit and to make it stick, okay? So I'm going to go through each of these ones carefully. So if you need to as well, you can pop them in your notes, or you can come back and listen to the episode, because doing the small things repeatedly is what will get you to your end goal, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that habits are key to your lasting success. Okay, so when something is a habit, it's inbuilt in you. You do it without motivation, without thinking. Like, a habit will support you on your busy days, on your tired days, on your overwhelmed mum days. Okay, relying on motivation will just keep you stuck. A habit is something that you can count on, because habit is something that is so inbuilt in you that your brain doesn't have to do any work to make it happen. And again, I talk about the brushing your teeth thing. I use literally zero brain power, thinking power, anything of that from my brain to brush my teeth. Okay, I just don't, because it's a habit. So when you make something a habit, it becomes an inbuilt part of you, and you literally do not have to do any thinking, any brain power in order to go ahead and do that thing. And that's why habits are so important, okay? And again, when it's a habit, that's where the ease and the flow that you want is going to come from. Okay, so here are my 7 ways that you are going to start a new habit and you are going to finally stick to it, because we're at the start of a brand new year, and this is going to be your key to lasting success, is building on these habits. Like I said, pick some small things, start small, and then just build on them. So tip number 1, start small. Like I said, I gave you the example of the sugar in my coffee and my drinks and things. That's how it started. That's exactly how it started. So start small. So as you're listening to this podcast today, think about 2 things, maybe 3 things, really small things that you can start. Okay. And that's the problem that we struggle with as women a lot of the time, is that we miss the steps. So we look at the top of the staircase, and at the top of the staircase is this version of ourselves. Okay. She's like loves how she looks. She wears what she wants. She feels confident. She knows how to eat. If she wants to have a chocolate bar, she has a chocolate bar. She's got no food guilt. We see her up there. That's the version of ourselves that we want. But the thing is, you have to do the small stuffs and you have to climb all of those little tiny steps in order to get to that version of you that you want. And that's where starting small with your habits happens. So choose 2 or 3. And again, start today. Finish this podcast and start today. Don't go, I really enjoy listening to that podcast, but I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it on Monday. Start today. Pick your 2 or 3 tiny habits, your small things that you're going to work on, and start today. Something simple as well. If you're thinking, I don't really know what to do, swap a sugary snack that you always have, swap it for a piece of fruit. Like that's a new habit. Like if you are someone at 10 o'clock every day always has like a muffin or a chocolate or whatever your thing is, swap it for a piece of fruit. Okay? Or some mixed berries. Don't try and change everything at once. And this is why we've set ourselves up for failure. You cannot change everything at once. It just won't work and it will lead you to burnout, to overwhelm, and you will just quit on yourself. So choose 2 to 3 things, start small. Like I said, swapping the sugary snack, swapping that Coke for some water. These are all new healthy habits that you can create. So choose 2 or 3 and start today.
I've lost over 6 kilos on the program and I've ditched the restrictive food mindset and am able to navigate life's busyness as a very busy full-time working mum with 2 children on the program and being supported by an amazing community and Jen herself, who is there to coach you and get you out of those situations where you second guess yourself. So take that next step and trust in the program and reap the rewards.
Number 2, anchor your new habit to an existing one. Okay? This is also referred to as habit stacking, which you may have heard of that term before. So you're going to anchor the new habit that you want to do with an old habit. So something that you already do really easily. Okay? So you stack them together. So for me, a good example, when it's nighttime, I'm getting ready for bed, I'm going to brush my teeth. I have habit stacked brushing my teeth with getting out my gym clothes and my sneakers and my socks and everything for the morning. So they go together because the teeth brushing thing for me is easy. I don't have to think about it. And so I've gotten into the habit of stacking those 2 things together. So I brush my teeth and I get out my gym clothes. Okay. So stack your existing habit that you do, okay, with something else. So you may be someone that you get up in the morning, you're all like bleary-eyed and you're tired, and the first thing that you always do is press the button on your coffee maker or make yourself a coffee. That might be the first thing that you do every single morning. What can you stack with that? Can you throw some overnight oats in a bowl and prep your breakfast for the next morning while the kettle's boiling? Like, think about what you can stack together. It is all about working smarter, not harder. We make things so much harder for ourselves as women than we actually need to. It's just about finding those little tiny moments. So think about some things that you do during your day, in the morning, at night, even at work, and what can you stack with that habit, because it will make it easier for you to do and it won't require a lot of brain power. You can just join those things together. And like I said, we call it habit stacking. All right, tip number 3, be consistent, not perfect. Let's say you're like, okay, Jen, I've picked my 2 to 3 habits that I'm going to work on and you missed one, or you didn't do it, or you didn't do it very well. It doesn't matter, okay? Be consistent, not perfect. If there's 7 days in a week and for 4 days out of that 7, you've done that new habit, that's progress. You are moving towards making that habit something that you do every single day, something that is inbuilt in you. So don't beat yourself up if you miss it or if you don't do it perfectly, because it's not about perfectly. It's just about doing it repeatedly over a long period of time in order for it to become something that is inbuilt in you and something that you require brain power to do. And that's what we want. We don't want to have to think about this stuff. You don't want to think about, I've got to get motivated to go to the gym. I've got to find the discipline to drink a glass of water. We're trying to make it easier for ourselves. We're trying to take the pressure off, and that's where building these healthy habits comes from. All right, tip number 4, track your habit progress. Okay, we run monthly challenges in the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership We use habit trackers. And there's a reason for that. It's because those things, seeing a visual. So in your mind, if you're just thinking to yourself, okay, well, yeah, I think I did that like 3 times a week this week. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay. The data, if you can see something, it will keep you motivated. So if you have something on your fridge or in your bathroom and it's got like your new habit of putting out your workout clothes the night before and you've ticked off 4 or 5 of those, you didn't do all of them perfectly, you've got them. You can look at that. That's data. That's not, well, I think so, yeah, and maybe relying on your memory to check that you did it. You can actually look at that and go, you know what, I'm really proud of myself and I have actually made a significant effort in order to create that new habit. So don't dismiss tracking habits and ticking them off as you do them, because it can have an impact and it can encourage you to keep going. Like I said, otherwise you're just relying on brain power to try and remember if you did the thing or not. And we're all busy and that's hard. And it can just be a piece of paper. Scribble it down. If you've got a whiteboard at home or like a fridge magnet or something you can write on, put your new habit, tick the amount of times you did it each week, and you will have some tangible evidence to look back on to show you that you have made progress. And it's really good, especially on those days you think, oh, well, I didn't really do much. You can see from that tracking that you have actually been working towards that new habit and that you have actually been making progress. Tip number 5, make it easy for yourself. Like I said, we just complicate stuff way more than we need to. It does not have to be this difficult. It just doesn't. So make it easy for yourself. If you're working on having better snacks, so like you always tend to eat more junk food type snacks and you want to swap snacks for like yogurt and carrot sticks and fruit and things like that, make it easier for yourself. Cut up a heap of those things. Leave them in the fridge in small containers. Remember, our brains are lazy creatures. So if you can open the fridge and you've got a couple little containers, there's some mixed berries, you've maybe got some carrot hummus. In the pantry might be like those snack packs of like popcorn and pretzels and things like that. Your brain is going to just reach for them straight away, okay? Because our brains are lazy and when we're tired, we just want quick and easy. So make it easy, be organized, prep your snacks. If it's drinking your water bottle, don't leave your water bottle floating around in the boot of your car because you're just never going to fill it up. Put it somewhere. Make sure it's washed. Make sure it's clean. Make sure at the end of the night that it's filled up and in the fridge so you can grab and go the next day. It's the small stuff that helps, and it's the small stuff that makes creating a new habit easy. So don't make it hard for yourself. Just make it easier for yourself. Okay, tip number 6, pair habits with things you enjoy. Now, a great one is the Healthy Her podcast. So if you love listening to the Healthy Her podcast and you also enjoy going for a walk, pair those habits together. Put your your headphones on, turn on the Healthy Her podcast and go for a walk. So you're pairing 2 things that you enjoy together. All right. Another one, I know we've had a few members in the membership purchase walking pads for home because they're all busy working mums. They don't have time. Some don't have time to get to the gym or a class or whatever it is. So they've bought one of those like walking pads. And that's another great one. So pair your walking pad with something that you enjoy. So put it in front of the TV and whack on your favorite show. Put on your favorite music. Pair the thing that you need to do with something that you enjoy. Why? Because then you're more likely to do it, and you're going to be more likely then focusing on the show that's on the TV that you're just watching. And what you'll find is that you look down and you're like, oh, wow, okay, I've actually just done like 40 minutes on here and I just had no idea because I was literally zoned in and watching my favorite TV show. So pair things together that you enjoy. It will make doing that habit easier. And my last tip, which is number 7. I want you to switch your focus. So I want you to switch, and I talked about this new identity. Remember when I talked about the staircase and this version of you that's at the top that just does all this stuff and she knows what to do and she doesn't have to feel disciplined or motivated. She's at the top of the staircase. She is there. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on that as an identity, okay? I don't want you to just be focusing on the scale. I've got to drop the scale and I've got to be saying things to yourself. So envision that person that you want to be and the kind of person that you want to show up as. I am the kind of woman that shows up and prioritizes herself. So habits will work best if they align with you. So if you are constantly saying to yourself, I'm not a fit girl. I'm not a healthy girl. I'm never going to lose weight. I'm a failure. What is wrong with me? Why is this not working for me? If everything around your identity and who you are is negative, it is going to be a deep struggle. Okay? Habits will work best and they will stick better if they align with the version of yourself that you are. So it's really about changing that language and the way that you talk to yourself. Okay. So I'm the kind of woman that shows up no matter what life is throwing at her and makes time for herself every single day. Okay. I am the kind of woman that prioritizes exercise because I know that it's really good for me, for my muscles, for my bone health. And so I show up for myself in some way every single day, even when I'm tired. Change your identity, change the way that you see yourself, and that version of you then will start aligning with those habits that you want to create. So there are 7 really simple things that you can do now at the start of the year to start a new habit and to stick with that new habit. They're all really simple, not complicated, won't take you hours. All it needs now is some action from you. That's it. So decide on 2 or 3 that you're going to start working on and start taking the action towards doing those things. And like I said, they will have a compounding effect. And please remember, building new habits takes time. It's why as women, we fall off the wagon with our healthy eating and our workouts and our exercise so easily because no one has told us that it takes time. Okay, so it can take months. It can take a good couple of months for something to stick and for something to feel easy, like you've always done it. And that's what you want. That's where creating healthy habits is the key to your lasting success. Because once, like, I don't think about going to the gym anymore. I don't think about making a meal prep breakfast. I don't think about planning my family dinners. I just do them. I do them. I don't use any brain power to do them. And that is because I have done them so many times repeatedly over a period of time that now they just become easy. And that is what you want. All right. So just remind yourself in those moments when you're like, oh, why am I doing this? This is not working. The scales aren't moving. What's wrong with me? It will have a compounding effect. And those habits over time, the more that you do them will become easy and seamless and everything will start to flow. And I can honestly tell you, and I know as all true, my Hype Gal members will agree with me, when it becomes easy and you start to feel that flow, it's like this massive weight gets lifted off your shoulders because you're not thinking about food all the time. You're not worrying about how to show up and how to get to the gym, and because you just do it. There's no brain power required. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. You just do the thing and it just becomes easy and it just starts to flow. And that is what you want because it just feels so damn good. And I just genuinely want that for you too. If you're ready to start your journey, you can jump in and join our incredible community, the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership. Within 7 days, you will know exactly where you have been going wrong. You'll have a calorie deficit to achieve your goals, plus all of the meal plans, all of the support, all of the mindset work, just like we do here on the podcast, to help you to stop quitting on yourself so that you can finally reach your goal. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode of The Healthy Her, and I'll see you all in our next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.